Welcome, welcome. We are live and streaming and recording. Welcome, beautiful kings and queens, all our friends and family. So happy to have you here today. I am joined today by my beautiful sister, Queen Khpra. I hope I'm saying that last name right. Queen Khpra, who is joining me today to talk about something very important and very exciting and enticing. We're going to be talking about Tantric Sex and what it is. And also we'll be talking about our upcoming retreat at Mariposa Jungle Lodge. I'm going to take a moment to tag you in the live so that you can have it posted on your wall. Welcome, Queen Khpra. If you'd like to take a moment to introduce yourself. Well, just 1 second, because I didn't want to give you a better introduction than that. Just 1 second. I'm just gonna tag you in it so that we can make sure that you have it on your page, and then I'll continue my proper introduction because you deserve all the praise in the world because you've been doing some amazing work and helping so many people. All right, here we go. You are tagged. It should be on your wall. The joys of technology. The benefits of technology. Wow.
Right.
Give thanks. Okay, good. So Queen Khpra is an amazing spiritualist. She's also a nutritionist, a doula, so she can deliver babies the natural way, which is so incredible. She also is a herbologist. She does massages, does tarot readings, and has been such an amazing light and angel for many people all around the world, supporting us in our journeys, our health journeys, our sexual journeys, overcoming sexual traumas, which a lot of us are struggling with. She does one-on-one coaching, either individually or for couples, helping couples get closer together, become more intimate with each other, and ourselves become more intimate with our own, who we are. I believe like a lot of the problems of the world are there because we are, kind of stuck in our conditionings, our programmings, our traumas from the past, and even passed on from generations past. So this is such powerful work that you're doing, and I look forward to diving deep with you, getting to know you a little bit better, hearing about your journey, and seeing who can join our amazing retreat coming up and how you can support them as well. So welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to come and speak with me.
Well, thank you so much for having me. So the name is Khpra by Khpra. It means the great house of soul transformation. And my journey started out as me becoming a doula on my spiritual journey. I had a friend that wanted to have her baby at home, and she had asked me if I could be her doula. And so I just took the training for it so I could be her doula. And my journey started from there, really, as far as all the things that I've done lately. So I do specialize, I do work with sacred sexuality, mostly women, but I do have some knowledge regarding men and reproductive health. And like you said, I'm a nutritionist. I do work with herbs and I do tarot readings. I just do a bunch of different stuff. So thank you so much again for having me here.
Yes, no, thank you. I love to hear about, when we talk about finding our purpose in life and mission in life. I just really love how a lot of the times, and like your story is telling us, when we're in the flow and when it's like a calling, right? What I'm hearing is that you got called forward to doing this, to being a doula, and you had an opportunity there and you took the training and you felt it deep within your soul. So I love to say that to others as well. And it's just such a beautiful example of, you don't have to necessarily like be seeking anything or doing anything, like just be yourself, be your most authentic self, and opportunities will come to you. I'm not saying don't do the work, like we got to do the work, but at the same time, there's something very there's something to be said about being called forward on a path. And that's really what I'm feeling from you, is that like the herbs called you forward, the plant-based living called you forward, and you've been surrendering and leaning into your divine mission in life, which is so incredible.
Yeah.
Yes. And did you ever think that this was going to be your path? Maybe tell us like a little bit what you were doing before and how this unfolded. How did this, manifest in your life?
Well, it's funny that you say passion, because when I was a young girl, you probably heard of the Cosby Show with Bill Cosby and everything. Yes. I always wanted to be OGBYN because he was, and the thought of delivering babies like excited me, but my path didn't lead that way. Growing up, I wasn't given certain opportunities, or I didn't take certain opportunities to progress that way. So it's funny that the path leaded me back to what I wanted to do originally. Spiritually, my journey started about 5 years ago. I was really sick, and I had to have an emergency stomach surgery, and it prompted me to look for alternative ways to heal myself, because none of the doctors could tell me what was wrong with me. They just wanted to keep doing surgery and keep giving me medication. And I felt like they were going to kill me. I felt like, I can't leave this planet with my daughter still here without me. So I fought. And that's how I became a nutritionist. I met my mentor, and he helped me. And I decided to move forward and be a nutritionist. And through him, that's how I met a few of my friends, and decided to become a doula, and then everything else just expanded from there. Mm. So it's been quite a journey, and I've done multiple births. I do placenta encapsulation, and I love it. I absolutely love being there when women are giving birth. I love assisting them while they're pregnant. I'm a massage therapist, so we do prenatal massage. We do hypnobirthing, which is a technique where you use self-hypnotism, I guess that's how you say it. I don't know, but you use hypnotism to kind of like relax yourself and create the environment that you want for your pregnancy, for your baby, for your birth, so that it's not scary, and it's a perfect day for you when you finally go into delivery. And from there, it kind of escalated to, from women's health, and then men's health, and then sexual health is a big thing, because, we're creating these babies, we're in these relationships, and it's just a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Everything goes together. And, sometimes in sexual relationships, to each his own. I'm not going to say that anybody's doing it wrong, but for people that want to create more intimacy, more mindfulness during lovemaking, is why I decided to do the workshop. Yeah. Did I answer the question? See, I don't.
Absolutely. Yes. And I mean, we are flowing. We can, we could go in different directions. Absolutely. I am so fluid in all my, all of our talks that we have here. So it can go in whichever direction you feel, guided to go. It's all good. What I'm hearing too is like, becoming more conscious, you know, bringing more awareness, more consciousness, more intimacy to everything that we're doing. Even when you were talking about childbirth, it has really broken my heart to see what's going on in the hospitals, what's going on with a lot of mothers that, you know, it's their first child, or, you know, they're being told certain things by the medical field, and very scared, very scared. I remember when I was pregnant, I really knew I wanted to have a natural birth. You know, that was just an intuition that I had. This was 12 years ago, so I didn't really know much about natural living. But something in me knew that I didn't want the epidural. I wanted to have a natural birth. So I hired a doula. I didn't even know what a doula was back then, but I did some research and I said, okay, I did go to a hospital, but I had a doula with me. I had an advocate with me. She encouraged me to, you know, stay at home and be in the bath. So she taught me how to, you know, use my own body and my own mind to meditation to have a natural birth. And I remember people thinking I was crazy. And I was like, what? Isn't this what I came here to do, is like give birth? I just felt like, isn't this what all of our ancestors have been doing with no medication? I'm going to have a good, natural, healthy birth, you know? And I was ready for a little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort, but I just felt like the whole world was very kind of disconnected from that innate natural ability that we have. And that's part of the programming, right? That's part of the like kind of brainwash that we're robbed from that experience. And also in sexuality, I feel like we're very robbed from our what real, you know, love making is all about. Like you were talking about, you know, looking at each other's eyes and being in this like playfulness and foreplay instead of just like bang 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 like let's get it done. And you know, this like very physical kind of only physical transaction or interaction, where it could be like so much more. It could be like a spiritual experience where two people truly connect and, you know, be with God, be with each other in those ways. So I love to hear about that, and how, you know, you are helping individuals and couples go to those deeper layers of the experience. So whether it was childbirth or lovemaking, so beautiful. So what has been in your experience the main maybe block, like in couples, for example? Why do you think there is a lack of intimacy to begin with?
Well, I think it's part of what you said. It goes along with conditioning. From young children, you know, girls are groomed to be, you know, sensitive and, you know, in the kitchen with the dolls and making food, and boys are not. They're not conditioned to, you know, this is how you treat your wife. This is what you do with your wife. This is how you treat your children. They're told that those things are for girls, and you know, then they get to you know, adolescence, and then they come across their dumb friends that don't know anything either, and they're getting ideas from pornography and, you know, dirty magazines, and then they get the wrong idea about what sex is supposed to be. So you just have a conflict from the beginning. You have a conflict from the beginning because and then nobody, I mean, unless you have amazing parents, nobody really explains what sexuality is, how it's supposed to feel, what it's supposed to be like, what you're supposed to get from the experience. And it just turns into recreational whatever. And you just, you know, wind up using each other to masturbate, essentially, because it's just a physical thing. There's no real connection behind it. And that is what tantric sex is. Tantric sex is techniques used to connect the spirit and not just the physical part of intimacy. It promotes intimacy, and, you know, people enjoy sex for what it is now, but, you know, imagine building yourself up to where you could have a full body orgasm as opposed to just one that's attached to your genitals. And you'll be able to, make love longer and, have a real connection with your partner and not, not be in your head or what do I look like or how is he seeing me or, what does she think about this part of my body? Just letting all of that stuff go and enjoying the connection, enjoying the moment with your partner, and making your sexual experience something more than just a physical 15-minute thing.
Wow, so beautiful. I think the world would be a much better place if we all, learned about this and learned how to be in these kinds of communion of a relationship and satisfied. A lot of situations, I've surely been in them where I haven't felt satisfied. I haven't felt like loved, seen, nurtured and appreciated in the way that I knew deep inside that I deserve to be, and vice versa. I think a lot of the times we're not receiving what we need, and that's why we see a lot of infidelity. That's why we're seeing a lot of like this nonstop hamster wheel, right, where we're like constantly looking for the next thing, and we're looking for that satisfaction in different places, and we're just not getting it. So it's like the never-ending cheating wheel.
Yeah. Sex is well, our emotions and our energy, a lot of it gets pent up, believe it or not, in our sexual, in our genitals. And we have to be able to release it, but doing it in a healthier way is what I'm promoting. Being able to connect to your own body, to your own spirit, and then being able to connect to your partner and having that connection and having that communication, having the open dialogue. This is what I'm comfortable with. This is, what I've experienced. This is maybe something that we can try. Along those lines of thinking, just having that dialogue just off the top, that provides more connection right away. We have to learn how to build healthy relationships. We have to have healthy sex. We have to continue to grow and heal each other in all of these ways in order to build better communities and have better lives for ourselves. It's not just one thing, it's in all aspects of our life that we have to improve and keep healing, especially people that have suffered sexual traumas. It's not just women, it's men too. A lot of men have been sexually assaulted and they don't have a release for anything.
And that just keeps getting passed on, from generation to generation. And often the habits get passed on too, the trauma, and the same patterns keep repeating within, the family lineage. So I think it's important to, especially in this era, this generation, like we have the opportunity, we have the knowledge, we have the support as well to heal those things, those traumas that maybe our ancestors weren't able to do, and to acknowledge it, to recognize how it's affected our life. Because like you said, before we get intimate with somebody else, we have to be ready to be intimate with ourselves, and that could be challenging. That could take a lot of self-work. And definitely going through my period of celibacy for 7 years, almost exclusively, I'll say almost exclusively, because I had but almost exclusively celibate, because consciously I realized that before I got into a conscious relationship, I needed to heal myself. I needed to be okay with who I am before getting into a communion with somebody else. That I was kind of using men in the past to make me feel better about myself, or fill a void inside. And I realized that until I healed that, until I was happy with myself being alone, then I was not going to be in a relationship with anybody. So, I do encourage celibacy. I do encourage, getting to know yourself before even attracting your mate that you want to be with that's like on that level, that wants to have a conscious relationship. Because if we're still in our traumas, in our pain body, in our fears, then we kind of attract that same vibration of, maybe abusive partners, or partners that don't really appreciate us. So I certainly was there for a long time, and I was like, okay, the problem is not the partners, the problem is me. Like I need to heal myself, and then the new partners are going to come in, or partner, so definitely like it's a work on ourselves before we even get into a relationship like this. And yeah, I really do believe like we attract what we are, we attract who we are. And if we are comfortable in our own skin, then we will attract somebody that is comfortable in their own skin and wants to respect us. And again, like the healing can continue together. So I love that what you said about we can tantric sex can be used as a modality of healing to people. Yes. Maybe we could talk about that, like how the intimacy and the intercourse can actually bring more healing to the couple and to the individuals.
Okay, yeah. So practicing tantric sex, there's breathing and just taking that mindfulness to speak to one another and be open and honest with the communication, and using touch and breathing is what makes it healing. Having a partner that is on the same page with you and wants to explore you in those kind of ways is what is healing. We're doing this to strengthen our relationship and make everything stronger, and we're going to use this as a tool to heal each other, because every time we do it, it's going to get stronger, because I'm going to be closer to you. It's okay to that's a part of building healthy relationships. Now, I'm not going to say depending on someone, but when you have a partner that can both listen to you and hear you, it makes a difference. Because you can listen or you can hear somebody all day, but that doesn't mean that you're listening to them. And you're communicating, oh, I've been through this past drama. And, say, I've had womb trauma, and, the person that you're with takes his hand and says, I'm going to help heal this part of you. And, you do womb meditation with that person. That's so healing for both of you. For him to want to be a part of your healing, for you to want to be a part of his healing, is where it comes in. You have to be able to be conscious of your partner and what it takes to have a real healthy, conscious relationship, if that's what your desire is. Because then, healthy relationships make healthy babies, and healthy communication, throughout the family makes healthy families. And that's the way we have to start building our communities.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it starts at home with us.
Definitely. Well, a lot of the time, I think we want to, I think we all on some level want to have these conscious relationships, and maybe we just don't know how. We just we're kind of, speaking for myself, maybe stuck in some old, stuck patterns. And like I needed a lot of support. So I think it's important to have, healers and queens and women like you, like stepping up to offering support. It's like we have sometimes this misconception that we don't need help, or, oh no, like I'm okay, I'm fine. But like, I don't know, I think it's like so beautiful to seek help and to get help. Like I would never be where I'm at if I didn't get support all around me. So again, like if you're watching this, like it's for a reason. So don't feel shy. You know, if you're looking for support, reach out to Queen Para, and you know, come to our retreat as well. I would love to talk about that because I love retreats. First of all, I am like such a I love retreat. I've been to many yoga retreats, meditation retreats, and they've changed my life. Like they've literally, I've, you know, met new friends on them. I learned new skills, new tools. So everything we're talking about, this would be a great opportunity to discover what that actually means, because we could hear about something, we could read about something, but then once you actually live it, you have the experience of it, and like it just completely changes your life, because you're just not the same anymore. You've been transformed, you've been through a transformation with a guide, with a spiritual guide. So tell us a little bit more about that, because maybe there's some misconceptions, like are we gonna, you know, all be like having sex, you know, together? Like tell us a little bit about what that might be like.
So I'm glad you asked me that. People do get confused about the title and everything, because it has sex in the title. This is not an orgy. This is not a place where everybody's going to be in one room having sex and doing all of that. I mean, to each his own. If you enjoy that, please do that. But that is not what this is. This is intimacy building between partners. That's what that is. So on the retreat, we have couples meditation, where you meditate with your partner, you do conscious work with your partner, you're talking, like, you know, you're finding places to heal. We're talking about healing. We're playing games that I do have games that build you know, questions about relationships and how you feel as a part of a relationship, and those kind of things. There's the massage part. I do teach intimate massage and how to do different positioning during sex to enhance the sexual experience. What is that? So we got massage, we got games, we got meditation, and a couple sound baths where you know, it's just all about being connected and enjoying each other, feeling the breath. You know, how just like in meditation, you know, you concentrate on the breath, you just concentrate on your partner. It's just a weekend about concentrating on each other and, you know, making a relationship stronger. And then, you know, what you actually learn what tantric sex is, how to move, what all the benefits are, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that sounds so amazing. Oh my goodness. I will be there. I'm so looking forward to it. It'll be July 22nd to the 24th. If you need some more information, reach out to Queen Para or to myself. It's going to be at Mariposa Jungle Lodge. It's our family resort in the jungle of Belize. So beautiful. We have, yeah, it's gonna be so good. We have 6 luxury cabanas, a swimming pool, restaurant. There's hiking trails as well if you want to go take walks, a beautiful yoga deck, and we will be there for you, you know. And what I wanted to say something else. I forgot. It's vegan options available because some of us are plant-based. So, but we also offer like a full menu. You know, we have, you know, chicken, fish, and all of that. And we also have like a really amazing plant-based menu. Our chef Norma has been so good. We have quite a bit of vegan guests who come, and juices, fresh juices, smoothies, so good. It's a really beautiful place to like relax, reconnect to nature as well. And if you would like to stay a couple more days, like it's going to be the weekend, so I really recommend maybe going to the beach, you know, staying in Belize for that week and continuing your journey if you can. Make it like a whole trip, right? If you're coming from outside And if you're in Belize, then, it's a great weekend as well to come and get away and get closer. It's about reconnecting, right? And I think it's so beautiful what you said about paying more attention and listening to our partner. I remember reading this book. I cannot remember the title, the author. I think Queen Heidi knows it if you're still on, Queen Heidi. But it's called Getting the Love You Want. Do you know this book? It's so good. It was called Getting the Love You Want. And the whole book wasn't even about, it was like, if you want to get the love that you want, then give your partner what they need. And it was all about listening to them and hearing what they needed. Because if we don't do that, and it's all about like, oh, what do I want? And take,
Yeah.
then the person feels depleted. The person doesn't feel supported. And they're all alone. Like, you're just going to be like two alone people in a relationship. You're very alone. And I have definitely felt that in relationships where I was like, man, I'd rather be alone than be with you and feel alone, because it's like worse, right? It's just better be alone than be with somebody and lie next to them. And you just feel so disconnected. You feel so alone. And I think a lot of people are going through that in their relationships. So yeah, I love what you said about giving them what they need. And then in return, they give you what you need.
You can't be in a relationship like, oh, I'm not going to change this about myself. That's not going to build a healthy relationship. You have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to learn what the other person likes and adjust yourself. There is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's how you build. You have to learn someone. You have to learn who the other people, the person that you're dating is. Yeah. You can't just be all about you. And well, if you don't do what I say, then I don't want to be with you. Okay, you're going to be lonely until you learn how to compromise. You have to learn who your partner is, what their love language is, the things that they like, the things that they don't like, and adjust yourself. There's nothing wrong with that too, because guess what? That's what you want from them. You want them to learn who you are. You want them to know that you don't like when wet towels are on the floor. Right? It's all about being open to change, being open to heal, being able to hear and being able to listen, and being just being open to healing. And if you want to be in a healing relationship, you have to be willing to change and do what's best for the relationship.
Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's okay.
I was going to say, for the relationship and for yourself, being ready, like what came up when you were speaking is being ready to heal. Is sometimes it could be hard, because sometimes we don't even know how to express what we need too. Like, it's not just about giving to the other person, but it's like, can you tell your partner what you like, what you don't like, what feels good, what doesn't feel good? Sometimes it's uncomfortable because, again, from our programming, we were told from a young age not to express ourselves or to, like, push it all down. So to say like, oh, I like this or I don't like that is important too. But sometimes we risk maybe like not being loved, or them walking away from us because we're too needy, or we have, so I think it's hard sometimes for some of us. For me, I could resonate with feeling a challenge to ask for what I need as well.
Yeah.
Or like even saying the dirty towel on the floor, like, bothers me.
Yeah, being open with someone is hard, especially if you feel like you're going to be judged about it. But you have to have those open lines of communication. You have to be able to say to yourself, you have to be able to say to yourself first, this is not working for me. I need to be able to express myself and tell my partner what's going on, because I'm uncomfortable in this situation and we have to fix it. I don't like this. I don't like the way this is making me feel. Then you go to your partner, I don't like the way this is making me feel. Can we talk about this? And it doesn't have to go your way. it can be a compromise where you meet in the middle, but to not say anything at all is what hinders you. Those are part of the relationship building games that I have. To be able to express yourself, you have to be able to tell your partner what's going on. I don't like this. I do like this. What are some of the things that you like? And then you go from there, because you have a bit of a foundation on what the other one needs from, what I need from you is this. What you need from me is this. Let's start there. And that helps, building healthy relationships. That's a part of building healthy relationships. Having that open line of communication, telling your partner what you need, saying it, feeling it. And then, if you're not getting what you need, then you can adjust yourself accordingly, because it is all about you. You have to be able to hear yourself, and you have to be able to set boundaries and all of that stuff. I'm not saying don't have any of those things, because you do need boundaries. And if someone is not respecting you, then you have to move on, but you can't expect them to respect you and know what you need without you saying anything.
We teach people how to treat us. I'll always remember that.
Exactly.
We teach people how to treat us, and we do. It's important. And I think too, like if somebody is experiencing some issues in their sexual life and their relationship, it goes way deeper than that. It's not just like, oh, I don't want to have sex, or I'm not attracted to them anymore. Like it could be that the communication isn't right? Like you're saying, like it's at the basis of it. So if we're not feeling heard, or we could even have a conversation, then the sexual life will definitely flow from that. So reconnecting on that level can rekindle the flame, can even like help individuals like fall back in love again. I think there's so much hope, if there was love, especially if there's children involved, like not to just throw in the towel because one aspect of the relationship is struggling. It's probably because there's other aspects that have been compromised, or the flame kind of went, because every day we're just like turning on the TV, and we're in the same rut, the same routine of not really communicating, or not really like building on the relationship and on each other. So definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, it's so interesting, that everything you're sharing, and I definitely like look forward to experiencing that, and being in your presence too. I look forward to meeting you in person in Belize. We'll be there at the same time this summer, and it would be so cool to I'm just thinking like, I don't know, I'm always like with my ideas, right? I'm just gonna put it out there. Everybody who knows me knows I'm always like throwing ideas, but like a school, like an actual a physical like school where people could come and take classes like on a regular basis, maybe coming once a week, or like how cool would that be to have a space where we can, come for the weekend, come for a week, and really, really like heal our relationships and heal ourselves through our relationships, because there's
and sex can be a part of that too. It can be a part of that. It should be a part of that.
Yeah, having
that as a way of finding deeper connection should be a part of that. It should.
Yeah, and not making it so taboo. It's definitely we don't always want to talk about it, but we're all having it. We're kind of shy sometimes, or we laugh about it, or we make jokes about it. But it's like such a sacred experience, and it can be even more of a sacred experience. And like you said, babies that come from a loving, conscious relationship, they are more loving, more conscious children that grow up, and they see that example. They have that to look to, their parents to look to, like a loving relationship, and they themselves will just automatically be more respectful and have that honoring of the sexual experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have a nice turnout at the retreat, and people can go home with something
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't have when they started. That's my hope for, even if you're a single person, you still can come and um, learn about yourself and the things that you need to heal.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always about other people. If you don't have a partner, you can still come. You can still come and learn about yourself, so that when you do get a partner, um, some of the things that it takes to build that healthy relationship. If you are waiting for that healthy relationship, you know, come join us. Come join us and learn about yourself. Learn about what your love language is and what you need, and your partner will eventually come.
Hmm. I do believe that. I do believe that once we work on ourselves and we get to know what we want, it's like, we're buying a house. No, I mean, I don't want to compare, like a man or a woman to a house, but kind of, like if we are looking to let's say purchase a house as an example, like, there's so many different kinds of houses. There's so many different, do you want 3 rooms? Do you want 5 bedrooms? Do you want, a garage, a pool at the back? Like there's, we all want different things. Or do we want a condo? Like there's so many different kinds of individuals. So if we don't know what we want or what we don't want, then we're just kind of absorbing or letting in whatever comes our way. And also maybe shifting depending on who's giving us attention. Be like, oh, okay, that one's giving me attention, let me go there, and that one's giving me attention. But it's like, no, wait a minute, like, what do you want? And does he fit or she fit your ideal? Like, what are the qualities? Or is it just like a physical attraction? So write it down in detail what it is that you want in a partner. I do believe in the power of attraction too, and the power of manifesting our dream partner by writing it down, making it like black on paper, like white on, and we just write it down, like ink on paper, like just put it out there. And something really magical happens when we do that.
I've heard of negative, well, why should I make a list about what partner I should have? But you should make a list about all the qualities that you want to have in a partner. And after you write them down, you look at yourself and say, am I worthy of having a partner like this?
Ooh.
What do I need to improve in myself for me to attract this person? That's how you do that list thing. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I made a list and I want all these things on the list, but are you living up to the things that you want?
That's powerful.
Are you living up to that? You can't get something for nothing. You have to be willing to give and learn and do all of those things in order to attract that person that you're looking for. Yep.
That's deep. That's true. That is true. That's so true. Yeah. Or keep, attract them and then keep them, because not keep them, but like have them stay, because anybody, we could attract many people, but then once they realize who we really are, and if we're not at that level, then they're not gonna stick around. And always be authentic too. Like it's important to not paint a picture of ourselves as something that we're not, because at some point our colors are going to come through. Like our true colors are going to come through. We all have things that we're going through. We're all overcoming a lot. So like, let's not pretend to be anything that we're not, so that we can attract the actual partner that is meant to be with us. If they think we're, I don't know, vegan, sober, and and we're not, like that's gonna be found like pretty soon. Just be yourself and strive to be your best self, so that they can feel secure with you too. I feel like they could be honest. Like the more we're honest, the more they could feel like they have permission to be honest and open. Yeah.
I find that that's a thing for guys too. They don't really voice their emotions. They're used to suppressing down their feelings. You know, they don't cry because, you know, like I said, crying is for girls. So, you know, men should be more open to expressing their emotions and getting those tears out when they need to cry. It's a big difference. You have to give your partner that space to be able to be open with you fully without judging. It means a lot to be an advocate for your partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like those who are ready to cry the tears too, they when we feel it, it's helpful for, let's say, not having a lash out in a week or two. Like if we're feeling the emotion right now, I find it's so important, and it's been like such a revelation in my own healing. It's like if you suppress it, it might be that you have an outburst like in a few weeks, you know, or like whatever that is that you express yourself. Maybe you drink, or maybe you have rage, or maybe you have you know, insecurities or jealousy. Like it may have nothing to do with the event in 2 weeks, but if you didn't cry in the moment, or you didn't release that emotion in the moment, like it might come out in different shadow ways like later on. So I don't know, for me at this point, it's just like, might as well I just feel it, release it when it comes, so that the future me is like able to deal with the next thing, and it doesn't pile up, it doesn't like compound the repression, like one thing, repress, and sadly that's kind of what we've been taught to do. And I think that's why we're, you know, a society that's kind of where we're at.
The traumas can definitely and we don't know it, you never know what's going to trigger you. I experienced that a couple weeks ago. I had an experience, and then, you know, it was over, and then I held on to the trauma from it. And then when I met another person and I thought I was having a similar experience, the trigger set off and I flew off the handle when that wasn't even the situation, because there was a lack of communication. So you have to really be mindful of those type of things. You have to feel your feelings and be able to express yourself and let go of traumatic experiences. So when you're dealing with triggers that it doesn't turn into a dangerous situation for you, because it can. It definitely can.
Yeah.
Going through those traumatic experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But to be able to recognize them, I think is important, and to communicate them, even just saying like, I'm feeling triggered right now, or I'm going through something, then
Yeah.
No, for sure. We all get them.
Yes, we do.
Well, thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, whether the retreat or having to do with tantric sex or anything else before we?
No, I don't think so. Just come and enjoy Belize with us and get some good food. And it's going to be a really good time. We're going to meditate and do yoga and enjoy each other's company and eat some good food and have some beautiful sunshine.
Yes.
But that's all. If there were like no questions from the comments, then
No, I'm seeing a couple comments. I'm going to read this comment from Queen Star. She says she's been praying for a healthy partner. Healthy relationships are so important. Feeling supported, connecting spiritually, and having that true connection promotes bonding. Absolutely.
yes.
And you have to be willing to be flexible. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yes. If there's, sorry, I forgot to mention at the beginning, but if there's any questions, we'll stay on a couple more minutes. And if you have any questions, you could let us know in the Facebook chat. Yeah, exactly. Queen Keisha says, it's important to cry. It will be anger, you express it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable to cry though at first. I have to admit, I was not comfortable with it, but it's definitely gotten easier. But there's like that automatic kind of like, no, 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 or like not here, it's not the right time, or there's just this kind of subconscious, habitual, don't do it, don't you don't need to cry, like be strong. Like I always have these words like just be strong, but it's like what does that even mean to be strong? What does that mean? Like
People tend to think that they're being weak if they're crying, but that's a way for your body to release the emotions. You're not being weak. You're not being weak. Your body is set up and designed specifically to do things as they're needed. If you're feeling a need to cry, then you should cry. Water holds memory, and that is included in your tears. If you're crying tears, those are things that need to be released from your body.
Whoa.
Those are memory and traumas and things that your body is trying to release. You can't hold on to it. If you need to cry, please, and I say for men and women, if you need to cry, you should be crying. It's in a release of emotion, and it helps release traumas. It really does. And just because you're crying for 10 minutes or whatever it takes, you're not going to be strong 100% of the time. And it's okay to not be strong for 10 minutes. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to need other people for things. We weren't designed to be here alone. We were designed to be here with partners, with families, with communities, with our tribe, and get support and love and understanding and caring and all of those wonderful things that we all desire. That's what we are designed for that. So it's okay to need other people. It really is. Especially if they're good for us. We have healthy relationships. I should be able to call you and tell you, oh, I need help with this. Just like you should be able to call me and tell me, oh, I need help with this. And we can cry and talk together because that's what we were designed for. If you don't have friends like that, then they're not your friends. If you don't have family like that, then they're not your family.
That's powerful. It's like that's why we do so good too when we go to like these healing centers or rehabs, or we see we go to retreats. We just feel this sense of oneness, this sense of belonging, and a lot of our problems go away when we come together, when we know we have a friend. Even talking on the phone in AA, they say like call before you relapse, like call before, if you're having an urge, like reach out to somebody, give them a call, talk to your partner, talk to your mother. And a lot of the times people feel so disconnected. They don't even think they have anybody, but we all have somebody, and we can all find our tribe. It's so important to connect. That's why I love doing these calls like this. I love our community that we've created online. Like, it's so important to be in tribes. I agree. And hopefully soon in person we'll be able to have our tribe, a physical tribe, because like so many times it feels really lonely not to have people. But thank God for technology. At least we get to connect like this.
Yeah.
But I think that's why a lot of us are very sad, depressed, disconnected, because we're not together. And we, like you said, we were designed to be together, to feel held and supported. Yeah.
And honestly, that's part of the reason why I'm not a raw vegan anymore, because I don't have that support. And you can say what you want, it's hard. If you are surrounded by people that are doing things that are doing things other than what you're trying to do, it's hard to stay focused. And being raw vegan is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Even though it was easy, it was hard. And I enjoyed it, and the health benefits are just amazing. But I don't have anybody in my life that is a raw vegan. So I'm going it alone by myself, and everybody's eating fried chicken, and over here they're doing that, and over there they're doing that. And I'm like, here I am with this piece of fruit. Like it's hard. It's hard if you don't have support. And that's why I said I'm excited that, you know, I have you in the new group now, because I've been needing that, and I can't wait till we get to be in person and just enjoy each other's company, and being with like-minded people is so essential to ultimate healing on your journey. And I need it.
Oh my goodness. Definitely. Like it's so hard to do that when you have people around you that's not eating the same way. I mean, I couldn't do it either for like 8 years. I knew I was meant to be raw vegan, but I just couldn't do it. I kept falling back. I kept eating cooked vegan junk food. And it's not until I found a first community last year, I was in another community, and I was like, all right, I just did it. I had a mentor, and he was like just supporting us through that, and we needed support. So I did it. And then a year later, I decided to start my own community, and I'm seeing the shift. I'm seeing the transformation in our kings and queens. It's called Kings and Queens of Raw. If anybody's interested in joining, let me know too, because it's such an amazing space. We do royal gatherings as well, where we meet on Zoom. I thought it was so important to gather, you know, to gather at least once a week. We do meditations as well, and a soul food hour once a month. So, and I'm just seeing like the benefits of it, right? Like we're all feeling more heard, more seen. And it almost has, I mean, yes, the food is such an important part of it, but it's not the only part of it, right? Like the most important is feeling we belong, feeling that we are doing something good, and we're feeling supported in that journey. But when everybody looks at us like we're weird and we're crazy, and where's your protein and what are you doing? Like that's all. And like, it's just really hard. So even if it is online, it really helps to have some support. Definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm so looking forward to meeting you and making juices and smoothies with you. Definitely. Yeah.
Can't wait.
And that even improves the sexual health. Maybe let's come back to the sexual health, but like even going plant-based, if we're looking for, you know, more energy, more stamina, more libido, you know, confidence in our bodies, like going plant-based for me was a huge healing, even sexually, right? Like, and men too. Men, I mean, men don't always talk about it, but a lot of men, you know, are having some issues down there. They can't, you know, perform as they want to. They don't have the testosterone, and they think that like eating meat is going to give them more testosterone, when it's actually the opposite. It's like, you want to have that blood flow, you want to have that like sexual drive and energy, then, you know, watch Game Changers if you haven't seen it, because they actually do some tests on young men that are very healthy on their penis, right? On their performance, on the size and the duration of the erection. And they did some tests. They took their blood test, they did some blood tests, but they also measured the actual penis and the performance, like after a plant-based meal and after a meat-eating meal. And the difference is like incredible. Like you could see how like the ones that had the plant-based meal, like they performed better, their erection was longer, harder, longer, all of that. So a lot of men actually turned plant-based after seeing that movie, because they were like, wait a minute, like I could improve my sexual health by going vegan. Like that's amazing. So
a lot of people won't agree with this, but this is my opinion. And you know, being a vegan, and especially a raw vegan, that is the way to heal everything. That is the way to heal your mental issues, your physical issues, your sexual issues, your emotional issues. It starts off with the food that you're eating. If you want to heal yourself, if you just do it for temporary, just to see what it's like, to stop eating meat and stop eating meat, stop eating sugar, and stop eating salt.
Yep.
And see how good you feel emotionally, physically, and all of those things, you won't want to go back to your previous lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
That is the way to heal everything, through your food.
Yes.
If you're having problems with, women, if you're experiencing dryness, like you said, your men, you're experiencing a loss of erection and all of that kind of stuff, 9 times out of 10, it can be healed with just changing your diet.
Hormonal imbalance as well. Everything for women, period. Like, it's all connected. Like, I used to have the craziest, heaviest period before. I just couldn't enjoy myself. So like 5 days before my period, I was in pain. And then during was like a heavy flow. I just was not doing good. So all of that is interconnected to the diet. You're so right. Thank you for saying that. I knew we had more to talk about. I'm like, we're not ready to wrap up. But I don't know. I wasn't thinking of it. It just flowed. So thank you for talking about that, because it's so important for sexual health to have, healthy circulation, healthy digestion. Like, how do you want to have sex if you're like constipated and you're like bloated and your stomach is hard? And definitely have been there where I just couldn't do it, or like you just feel so yucky in your body if you're not flowing properly. So that's definitely like a huge part.
You have what was that? If you're suffering from inflammation and your joints and everything, it's hard to be bendy. It's hard to be bendy if you're having inflammation and your knees hurt and you can't move around. And I mean, it's funny, but it's true. It's funny, but it's true. How can you truly enjoy yourself being so uncomfortable? And then that physical part triggers the emotional part. Now you're thinking about, now am I a good partner, or why is this happening? And now we got to get this and use this and do that. And is it worth your sanity?
Yeah,
that's funny.
Well, it's the reality we're living in, and a lot of people sadly can't even enjoy sex because they're so overweight, or they're having so many health issues. And it's like that whole, and they're young. Like, I'm looking around, and I mean, I'm not passing any judgment, but it's like, it's sad, that like 30, 40 years old, when we should be like in our prime, 50, like we're still in our prime at 60, 50, 60, 70. And like this misconception too with age, like whether we're super overweight or the age, it's like, in society we say, oh, at this age, like, I don't know, that we just have this like so much programming about sex in general, that after a certain age we're not desirable anymore, or we can't perform as much. But like, you see these raw vegans, they're like 70, 80, and they look good. They look really good. And I'm like, yo, like, I'd sleep with him. Like, he's like, because they're like, they don't look old, they don't look aged. And so there's just, even that is a misconception, that we have to age and look a certain way after a certain time. I'm not talking about like gray hair is okay and stuff like that. Like, it's okay to age, but there's a way to age gracefully. There's a way to age where we're not crippled and like, at a certain age full of acidosis and arthritis and all of that. That's not necessary.
Well, that raw vegan diet is the fountain of youth, honestly.
Yeah.
It will rewind everything. It
Yeah.
rewinds everything. Even your eyesight. When I first became raw vegan, I wear glasses. But, my doctor was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, your prescription is going back. Like, is your eyes are getting healthier as opposed to getting weaker because I switched my diet. Everything was just getting better, even my eyesight. So even, the small things like that, like you don't even notice. I wasn't expecting the eye doctor to tell me that my prescription didn't need to be as strong because my eyes were getting better. I wasn't expecting that. Even the small things that you don't notice um, are taking place when you're taking care of yourself.
Definite.
Yeah.
And the herbs too. Let's bring up the herbs a little bit, because the herbs can definitely improve the performance. Speaking of eyesight, like they could help clear up a lot of stuff. Like what I found, I was doing the living foods for 2 years now, and I had been plant-based for 8 years before that. So definitely going raw helped me up level. But now, like that I'm doing the herbs, I'm feeling an even deeper up level. Like I wasn't doing the herbs maybe at the beginning of my journey, but I had completely stopped. So, I mean, there's some really powerful herbs out there that can help, the performance and the blood flow and everything even more. So it's so great to like be discovering these different levels of healing and health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely does make a difference with the herbs. So many of them are good for circulation and clearing out the blood and clearing out the kidneys and clearing out the liver. And your body doesn't have to work so hard to clean out those organs, so it has time to do other stuff. But your body is constantly working, even though you don't realize it, to process food and um, make sexual energy. Men are making sperm, and women are making periods. It's just a lot. Your body is doing so much. It's a 24-hour job that your body is just creating this thing, that machine that's so intricately woven. You don't even know all the things that are going on inside of your body. And the herbs and stuff, they really help. That's why you gotta treat your body good. You gotta take your herbs. You gotta eat your fruits and vegetables. Even if you're eating meat too, you still should be incorporating those things into your diet, because they are definitely beneficial. I tell my clients for nutrition all the time, even if you're still going to eat meat, eat vegetables and meat. Don't eat meat and vegetables. Make the vegetables the main part of what you're doing, and have the meat as like a side, or until it gets small enough for you to not notice it's not there.
Definite.
Yeah,
definitely reducing the amounts, like you said, reducing the quantities, and then the frequency too will make a huge difference. Like if you're used to having meat 7 days a week, 2 times a day, then start by replacing maybe one meal a day, and then maybe taking out a few days a week, and going transitionally like that, so that it's not maybe too much of a shock. Sometimes it could be really challenging to go all or nothing, but definitely me too. Like I just recommend decreasing. And like even when we think of like being manly, I remember the movie Game Changers, it was talking about like, what is this concept of being manly, is like eating a lot of meat and being all like buff and bulky, like basically inflamed. To me, like you don't look good if you got like these big ass muscles that are just like it just doesn't, to me, it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look good. Like being fit, lean, and shape is good, but I've never really enjoyed that, because it's not healthy. Like we're not supposed to be these like And then I know their performance isn't that great too if they're eating meat. So I'm like, I'm not impressed. I'm much more impressed with like a skinny vegan. I'm like, all right, I know he could go all night.
Yeah, see. I mean, if you're, I don't know, if you see someone and they're just like eating this junk, that's the, because being single, those are the things that you think about. Like as a vegan woman, those are the things that I was thinking about. If I saw somebody that was like cute, but oh, you see, oh, he's eating that, oh, he's drinking soda, or he's drinking beer and all that kind of stuff, that is just not working as good as it should be. And then their body is producing certain things and enzymes that your body doesn't have in it anymore, and you can get sick from even exchanging energy with somebody at that point, depending on what your body is like as opposed to what their body is like. So it's just so many different things that come along with having sex. It shouldn't just be bam, 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 and then finish. You have to be more mindful of what you got going on, what your body's going through, what somebody else's body is doing, what are their intentions, how do they feel about themselves. All of that stuff is getting implanted in you once you exchange DNA with someone. You take on their traits and you don't realize it. It's very it's very complex, to say the least. It's very complex. You definitely have to be mindful of everything that you do, really.
I heard it takes a few years to cleanse out somebody's energies after you've, slept with them. Is that true? Like that it takes some time to clear out their energy and that their DNA is still in you for many years?
The DNA can take about up to 7 years to clear out of your body from someone else. So when you hear people say, when you have sex with someone, you're having sex with everybody they had sex with for a couple of years, you are.
Whoa.
Because if you don't know how to cleanse yourself, if you're not eating the right foods, if you don't have mindful practices of, meditation and clearing out space and clearing out energy, you can get stuck with somebody's energy for up to that long. That's why you see so much confusion, with young people. Like I'll say, like, I don't know if you ever saw like a Maury show where they have all these different baby daddy potentials and the woman is all confused. It's because you have so many different energies floating around in your body. You don't know what's up from what's down, because first of all, if you're dealing with that many people, you're not building relationships with these people. You're just floating. So you don't really know anything about them. You don't know what their intentions are for you. You don't know how they feel about themselves. You don't know how they view the world. You don't know anything about them. And then you're encoding yourself with their DNA. So then you're stuck with, I hate myself. I hate my family. I hate this. I hate my job. I hate my life. I want to commit suicide. And then you're going through all these emotions and you wondering why you feel like shit. It's because you're taking on everybody's energy from having sex with them. That's a real thing. And you don't even know that is happening in the process. You just think, oh, I'm just having a one night stand. That one night stand can turn into 7 years of hell if you let it. And then, if you're doing it with multiple partners, so 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 unhealthy, so unhealthy. Like I said, to each his own. People, do whatever they want to do. If you want to have one night stands, it's not my business. Please do that. But just know that you're probably 9 times out of 10, you're going to feel like crap, and you're not going to be happy because you're not building on anything. You're just getting physical, and the physical is only temporary. It's not going to last. It's not going to last if you don't have anything behind it, and you're going to continue to be lonely because you're not doing what it takes to build the relationship. And that, that's part of what this is, how to build a relationship. How can I make the relationship that I want to have in my life and have it work for me and my partner? What is it that we desire together as one unit? How can we build that? How can we continue to be mindful of that? How can we continue to cultivate that? How can we continue to make that special? How can we be able to pass those healthy things on to our children so that they're building healthy relationships? So much. It's so much to think about. And, if you're not being mindful, if you're not taking those steps and you kind of just floating along, you're just going to get whatever, like you said, you're just going to get whatever comes to you. And then you're like, well, what the hell? And then you're just looking all around and you don't know why you feel the way you do. It's because you're not doing what it takes to take care of yourself. You have to be able to love yourself first enough to know that I got to be able to treat myself special. I can't be having all the sex with all these different people. And it goes the same for men. It's not as invasive because, men don't take on the same energy as women. It's not as strong, but it does. It still has an effect. So, you having sex with multiple people and they're not in the right mindset, you're going to have effect from it. That is true. 7 years.
Wow.
7 years. And that, that's some of the energy work that I do. Let me see. Like I said, I do men's work and I do women's work, sexual health, and what it takes to, do sexual exercises. I don't know if you knew that. There are exercises that we can do with our genitals to make them healthier and stronger muscles. Oh, what did I do? I turned my thing off. Sorry. These right here, now men and women can do Kegels. I don't know if you know what Kegels are, but they're
yes.
you use your pelvic muscles in order to build up the muscle. So the lining of your vagina, the walls of your vagina, and the penis are muscles, just like the muscles in your leg, just like the muscles in your arm. And if I don't go to the gym and work out, are my arms still going to work? Yes, of course, my arms are still going to work. But if I went to the gym and exercised my arms, how much more beneficial and strength would I have in my arms if I worked out? So these right here are what they call, if I can untangle them. Sorry. Well, whatever. They're not being cooperative. But these are Yoni eggs. If you can see those, they come in a set of 3. And you start with the largest, then you go to the middle, and then you end up with the smallest. And you insert these into the vagina, round side up, and you do your Kegel muscles while this is inserted into your vagina, and it's like a weight, and it helps you build the strength in your vagina, and it's good for if you have traumatic periods, to help strengthen the pelvic floor. They're good for so many different things. If you suffer from incontinence, if you just had a baby, you use these and they will help you bounce back. And it helps tighten. It helps if you have vaginal dryness, it helps with that. And then these are, I'm going to open this.
They're made out of stone usually, right? They're like black onyx, or they have
And these are crystals. So
yeah,
the same benefits that you have from holding your amethyst. I keep this with me all the time. If you have a Yoni egg, that's an amethyst, is doing the same thing, except for in your sacral region. Now this right here is yikes, if I can open it. Seriously. This right here is very small. I don't know if you can see it, but this is a Yoni pearl.
Oh, wow.
And it's a tampon. And this little ball right here is a ball of herbs. And you stick this on your cervix for a few days. And it takes out all the uteral lining from years of trauma and buildup. And it just comes out. So you will experience some, not discomfort because it doesn't hurt at all, but you will have like discharge, and it will be like, well, what the hell is that coming out of there? Especially if you've had traumatic experiences, if you've had a lot of sex partners. Unfortunately, all of it will come out when you use one of these. This is a Yoni pearl tampon. But there's so many different things. And then we have the Yoni steams, of course, that you take the herbs, and they're good for a lot of different conditions like PCOS, infertility. And then men also, if men are doing Kegels, they can increase the size of their penis. They can increase the performance of their penis, and how long it takes for sex. And there's a lot. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to talk about.
Wow. And where could we get these? If somebody wanted to get the Yoni eggs, do you have them available? The Yoni pearl, like how can we find those?
Yes, these are all available on my website.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your website? I'll put it in the chat.
I'll text it to you.
Okay, cool. Good. Oh, this is so awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know about I knew about the Yoni eggs. I have one, but I didn't know about the pearl and the steams too. I've been feeling called to do some steams where you like sit and then you have like a big towel or a dress around you, and then you have the herbal steam coming up the Yoni area.
Yes. And I actually have, I have custom made Yoni chairs. So I sell
cool.
if women are interested in purchasing a Yoni chair for their house and doing in-house Yoni steams, I do sell those on my website as well.
Wow.
And they have my logo on them. They're so beautiful.
Amazing. So we have Queen Martin asking what herbs are in them.
Oh, there's so many different herbs in these. I don't know if I have the card. It's too many for me to remember, but everything is posted on my website, I believe, all the ingredients. And then everything that I sell comes with instructions so that you know how to use everything correctly. And then if you have any issues, you can always call me directly. I'm always available. Or you can, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram.
Oh, she's
But
asking,
everything,
sorry, she's asking in the pearl, sorry, the herbs that are in the pearl.
yeah, the herbs are in the pearl are listed on the website.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have them in front of me, but they are listed on the
On the
website.
website, perfect.
Um,
Perfect. I put it up in the chat.
yeah, okay. And yeah, so there's a lot to learn. Yep, men, and then men doing their Kegels, like I said, they can increase their penis size and how long, their performance and their libido,
Wow.
everything.
So great. Well, I'm sure a lot will be reaching out to you because who doesn't want that? Oh, like the woman will be showing the man like, hey, honey. Let's have
Yeah.
an open conversation. Yeah.
Please don't be embarrassed, like men or women. If you have any questions about your reproductive health or your sexual health, don't feel shy. There's nothing to be shy about. You have to be able to be open and be honest about what's going on if you want help with the issues that you're going through. And there's ways to get rid of those old energies. If anybody's listening and they are like 7 years, like, yeah, 7 years, if you want to get rid of those energies, and there are things that you can do to help get rid of those things before time and get back to just you and who you are, and get situated better into developing those healthy relationships that we talked about.
I even have a friend, an example of something that's pretty cool that happened to her after a herbal steam she did in her yoni. She did that, and she said that something like a white mass came out of her, a white, just like mucus, just a lot of accumulation came out of her. And she said that 2 weeks after that, her soulmate, which is now her partner in life, like came to her, like found her. Like after that was cleared, then she attracted her mate. Like she attracted her man. She was like, oh my God, like she felt it energetically. She felt it in her body that came out, and that her man came in. So that's pretty awesome that sometimes we're stuck. Sometimes we're physically dense and stuck, and we can't allow the new energy to come in because we're holding on to that old energy. So it totally makes a lot of sense. And how often would somebody need to do the yoni steam? Like, is it once a week? Is it once a day? Like how does that work?
I would say maybe once a week at the least. You don't need to do it every day. There's no need to do it every day, but if you do the yoni steam and along with the yoni eggs and stuff, you can turn your vagina into a powerhouse of healthy sexual energy. And your sacral, that's where you have all your creativity, and that's where you're storing your emotions, and it's just, you can do a lot with a healthy vagina. Yeah, so maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, but if you have it at home, you can do it whenever you like. And then you can just do some people just do water and lemon, and that helps with the like I said, with the tightness. If you're having trouble with dryness, if you're having trouble with smell, if you're having trouble with bacteria, if you're having trouble with infertility and what's that, PCOS and so many other things that women go through in that area. There's a way, a holistic way to help with all of those things.
Amazing.
And men can do steaming too. It helps with the testicles. So
Okay, cool. Awesome. Nice. Oh my gosh, I'm learning so much today. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna get some herbs. Yes.
yeah.
So wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time and your, information, knowledge, and experience with us. Definitely we'll all take a look at your website and get some herbs, get our yoni steamed and healed, because it is so important. It's like the womb of all creation. Like, we women we're such creative beings. And certainly one thing I've learned in being celibate for so long is that my creative juices started coming from this place of creation, from like not leaking energy into, like you were talking about different sexual partners that I've certainly had in the past, that it's part of my journey, but I've definitely like leaked my energy in different places. And once I stopped doing that, then I started realizing how much more powerful I was, and how, it's like the creativity is there, that the energy, the like divine feminine came out of me from that place of holding my energy together and not giving it away, So
and it's the same thing with men too.
Men too, yes.
Same thing with men. If they practice semen retention, they can turn into superheroes. Seriously. They can build up so much energy and power and strength, and not releasing. It just is so much to learn. So much to learn. Yes. But I'm always available if you want to, talk about something else, or want to go into a specific area about what we just talked about, go into it deeper, and I can explain more. If anybody comes to you with any questions, feel free. I'm always here. I was really nervous, but I'm available anytime you want to come back and have me back on.
Yay, perfect. I know this was so interesting and really, really powerful. I would love to dive deeper into definitely a particular subject. Definitely want to dive more into the semen retention, because I'm just kind of learning about it now, and I'm watching some videos. There's like Mark the Messenger, and then I follow Ray Mayor. He talks about it, and I'm like, whoa, it's just blowing my mind. To see these men holding their sexual energy and really being so powerful. And you could hear, you see them, they just have this different kind of glow to them. They got this, whoa, this really masculine, divine energy about them. And they even say women look at them a different way, and everybody looks at them a different kind of way, because they're just kind of vibe different,
Yeah. But it works that way on both ways. When the men do it, you can see it in them, but when the women do it, and you can see it in them too, because your creative energy is flowing differently. You're glowing differently. So, and then you're in your divine feminine, and when the two come together, that's when you can increase it and make it stronger, with the connection and the intimacy and the communication and all of that. You just think about all of that stuff. You're doing your part as a divine feminine, and you have your masculine, and he's divine and his superhero-ness, and then you guys come together. It is magical. It's supposed to be magical. It's not supposed to be, all right, well, I guess you can call your Uber now and go home. Right? It's supposed to be magical. And you can have that. It's possible. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you're giving us all hope. So to all the single ladies and men out there, hang in there, hold your seed, and don't let it leak for women. Yep.
Well, thank you again for having me on. This was an experience.
Thank you. And I was nervous too, for the record. It's always a little bit challenging to come on, and even especially to talk about something like sex, which is so taboo, which I have personally never spoken about on on my page. But I felt the calling to be like, we need to open this door. We need to talk about it. We need to break the stigma, break the silence, especially in Belize too. Like I realized, I mean, everybody's having sex, but like it's kind of taboo, or it's approached in a very humorous way sometimes, or a very like kind of macho attitude, like look at what I did, and like talking about the conquest. And I find, correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw Queen Keisha mention that we don't really talk about it much in Belize, and it's true that especially for our teenagers and our kids, like we need to talk about it. We need to be real, because they are having sex, and it's like, we can't just pretend like it's not happening. We can't, punish them for doing it, but it's like, how can we have an open conversation about it ourselves first?
I mean, like you said, it's taboo everywhere. That's not just in Belize. It's looked at as dirty, and you shouldn't be doing it, and your hands are gonna fall off if you masturbate. Like, that's not going to happen. You have to, especially with your children, you have to really be open and honest with them if you want them to have healthy relationships. Some of the stuff I experienced, I think my heart would break if my daughter had to go through it. That's why I try to be honest with her. And she's still young, but you do it at a level where it's understandable and it's not too overindulgent, but still you can express different things so that they can have a better knowledge of why not to have sex, why to wait for sex, what is going to happen when I have sex, what it's supposed to be like, who is it supposed to be with. All of those things matter. Yes, there should be a sexual education class for teenagers other than the health class. And this is what happens in that. And then you have a baby. That is not it. That's not the whole thing. They need to be explained more. It shouldn't be a taboo. If it's dirty, whatever, but you're still doing it. So you need to be able to have knowledge about it. So even if it's dirty, you're doing it correctly, or to where it's not so dirty. I don't know, but just being mindful of everything. You have to be mindful. You definitely have to be mindful of everything.
Definite. Martin, Queen Martin, we're going to save your question for another time. Da, da, da. Great question. I do need to get my daughter from school, so we will. Well, she has an appointment. It's not really school, but today she has a special appointment, so I will go get her. But let's save your question for next time. She asks, what about same-sex relations and magical connections? So we will explore that in our next one. I would love to have you come back on, and we definitely dive deeper. Maybe next week we could set it up, or we'll see with our schedules. But definitely. Sexual Kung Fu is also a great channel that talks about tantric and Taoist sex. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Fatty. King Fatty. Thank you for sharing that. Well, thank you to everybody who joined us today. This was a very special talk for Queen Khpra and me, and we look forward to seeing you again. And if you have any last words that you'd like to share. Now we feel more complete. I didn't feel complete before too, but I was kind of like, I don't know, the questions weren't coming. I was like, oh, okay, like it's been an hour, but like we just went on in a whole other one. So I apologize for, I didn't want to cut it short. I was like, okay, this feels kind of complete. But then we had a whole other like box of goodies to unravel. Yeah.
No, I don't have anything. I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to come on your show and speak to your friends. And like I said, I'm here anytime you want me to come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, and if anybody would like to reach out to Queen Khpra and private coaching, individual or couples, she offers that as well. So feel free to reach out, add her as a friend. She's also on Instagram under the same name. And feel free to reach out. You got her website here. And if you have any questions, just let us know. And I'm here for you too if you feel shy or you would like me to ask her something. Like that's okay too. All right. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. So much gratitude for you. And I will see you very soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.